Our first speaker today has had a few too many. Close calls to ignore. Armed with just enough wisdom to know better, he hopes to save you from an avoidable bad outcome. Please welcome Toastmaster Ryan Hodge with his speech, Fortune Favors the Prepared. And get out your comment cards. Please comment from our speakers.
Good morning, Toastmasters and guests.
Good morning.
Are you prepared? And I mean that in the most broad sense I can possibly mean, because I'm starting to see a lot of people who are going about their day-to-day without actual good preparation. And these are simple things, and they can even be giant things. But the fact of the matter is, everyone knows that fortune really does favor the prepared. And it's on us as individuals and responsible people, and as Toastmasters, to be prepared when these things happen. For example, my older brother was selling his old motorcycle last year. It was a 650cc Kawasaki Ninja. It was a really fast bike. It was a really nice one too. And the guy he bought it from lived in a family who had motorcycles as a hobby. Riding was their lifestyle. Soon after he bought this bike from my brother, he decided he wanted to go on a ride with his dad. And as they were leaving for this ride, his dad was going without his helmet. So the guy stopped his dad and he said, "Dad, put your helmet on." And his father responded, "Nah, son, helmets are for P-word." And they went on their ride. He gave it up and they went. On that very ride, that same night, the dad was showing off at a stoplight. He said, "Son, watch this." And he revved up his bike. Vroom, vroom, vroom. And he started going around the corner as fast as he could. And his rear tire hit a rock and the bike spun out of control and he flew off. He hit his head on the curb and was declared dead at the scene. Please be prepared. A less morbid example comes directly from my family. Last year again, we were going on a road trip to Ocala. I was driving, my dad was in the passenger seat, and my mom and my younger brother were in the back seat. So I'm pulling out of the driveway and the car starts beeping at me. We all know that beep. Beep, 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 telling me someone doesn't have their seatbelt on. I look over at my dad because he forgets all the time, but he has it on. And I look in the back seat, and neither my mom nor my brother have their seatbelt on, and they seem to have no intention of putting it on. So they see me staring at them, and they hear the alarm, so I turn around and I let them put it on. After a little bit, the beeping stops, and I hear the buckles. And then I realize, that took a while. What's going on? So I turn around again. These guys had moved out of their seats and buckled the seats in, and now they're sitting on top of the buckled seatbelts. So they're not even fastened by them. So I asked them, "Guys, what are we doing? What's happening here?" And I figured it out right then and there the second I said it. It's because they know I'm the best driver in the world, and I'm not going to get into an accident, right? If it's not that, it must be that they're so confident in the small chance that we do get into a crash that they feel it justifies them not being prepared for one. So I informed them, "Guys, I'm not moving the car until you put your seatbelts on." I wouldn't personally be able to live with myself if I allowed my passengers to not wear a seatbelt and we did get into a crash. Worst case scenario, it's not even in my control, right? After a little bit of back and forth, they finally put their seatbelts on and we're on our way. Please be prepared. Good preparation can look fantastic though. And a great example of good preparation comes from my girlfriend Kendra. In 2018, her grandma was having some chest pains. It wasn't anything crazy, but they were there. It happened every now and then, and she was also having some trouble breathing on occasion. One day, Kendra walks into the kitchen to find her grandmother collapsed on the floor. And she was having a hard time breathing as well. Very hard time. And at the time, Kendra was working at a medical clinic. She was just getting started in her career, and she had also just so happened to have just got her CPR certification. She took one look at her grandmother and she knew, Grandma's having a heart attack. And without a moment's worth of hesitation, she sprung into action and she yelled across the house to her sister, "Kira, call 911 right now." Kira calls 911 and she gets to work setting up her mother in recovery position and clearing her airways so that she can breathe until help arrives. After a few minutes, the ambulance does arrive. They load up Grandma and they take her off to the hospital, and she makes a perfectly fine recovery, thank goodness. What's interesting is what happened right after, though. The doctors informed the family that at the time of the heart attack and she got to the hospital, her arteries were almost 100% blocked. there was almost no time to spare, which means that, suffice to say, more than likely, Kendra's quick action, her training, and her preparation saved her grandmother's life. And that's why she's with us here today. So I want to ask you guys again, are you prepared? Do you have emergency savings in case something goes wrong at home or at work? Do you have emergency food and water in case of natural disaster? We do live in Florida, after all. Do you have it right now? Does your fire extinguisher work? Do you know how to use it? And do you even have one? And if you do, where is it? Do you know where it is? All of these are little things that take almost no time but can have incredibly great outcomes for us if we're just a little bit prepared. So Toastmasters, it's always good to have and not need than to need and not have. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And remember, little piece of